welcome to reading number 6 from A Walk in the Wood, Meditations on Mindfulness with a Bear Named Pooh. This episode is called More Curious Than Afraid. Rather than denying or trying to get rid of our fears, we can turn toward them. Seeing our fears for what they are, we can go beyond them. That is true fearlessness. So let's see how Pooh taught Piglet to be more curious than afraid. Pooh had an idea. Let's go visit Eeyore, and we can take a different path to get there. Why would we do that when we already know the way? Asked Piglet, a bit concerned. We might discover something new, answered Pooh. But we might get lost. Or we might not. Piglet thought for a moment. There is that. And we can decide to be more curious than afraid, offered Pooh. Pooh didn't want to say it, but he thought that if they took a different route to Eeyore's house, they might run into some bees. And where there are bees, there is sure to be honey. It wasn't that Pooh was exactly looking for honey, but he certainly wouldn't mind if he happened to just notice some along the way. Piglet thought about what it meant to be more curious than afraid. You know, Pooh, now that you mention it, I was quite brave yesterday. And I do like surprises, as long as they're not the frightening kind. So I suppose I could do with a little curiosity and adventure. As long as we don't get too adventurous, and what we find isn't too curious. And off they went. Along the path, Piglet heard a rustling in the bushes, and his imagination took over. Oh dear, he said in a trembling voice. I think what we're hearing might be a fierce and terrible woozle. Piglet wanted to be fearless for Pooh, but woozles were an entirely different matter. Why don't we wait and listen and see what comes out, Pooh suggested, which Piglet was more than willing to do if Pooh stood directly in front of him. The two friends were surprised to hear a soft whimpering coming from the bushes. It was not a very woozlish sort of sound. This made Piglet less afraid. As he drew closer, he was surprised to see a reddish-brown snout with a black button nose poking out under a bush. Then he saw two little eyes, and two little ears, and two little paws. It was a baby fox. Piglet was about to ask Pooh what they should do with it when he remembered Pooh's caring kindness poem. Today I will be the best friend I can be to everyone I see, and then Piglet added, including the baby fox and me. Piglet decided that in order to be kind, he and Pooh should return the baby fox to its home. Looking along the ground, Piglet found the nearly hidden opening to the fox's den. It was not that close, but not that far, from the very bush where they'd heard the rustling and the whimpering sounds. Afterward, Piglet began to feel a reddish glow, which ran from the tip of his nose all the way out to his ears. It warmed him on the inside and the outside. Why, Pooh, said Piglet, I think I'm feeling the very feeling that comes from being both fearless and kind. And that's the story of how Pooh taught Piglets to be more curious than afraid. Training in fearlessness. The first step toward going beyond fear is acknowledging it. We can recognize our fears and learn to respond rather than react to them. Mindfulness practice includes directing our awareness toward what we fear. Within the space of inquisitive awareness, we gain insight into what's behind our fears and can take a more courageous attitude toward our experiences. As the old saying goes, life is like a turtle. You never get anywhere unless you stick your neck out. Intensify and release. Once you've recognized your fears and put them in perspective, you still need to undo their physical effects. Even after calming your mind, your body may still be unsettled. Intensify that feeling for a few seconds, making your muscles tighter and tighter. Then suddenly, release them. You can do this exercise on one area of your body at a time. Head and neck, release. Shoulders and arms, release. Hips and legs, release. You can also do your upper torso and release, your deep belly and release. Afterward, take a little time to breathe fully and settle yourself completely. Three deep breaths, and that's usually enough to clear away a lot of unnecessary tension. When you conquer your own fears, you have a greater capacity to extend kindness to others and encourage them to be more fearless as well. So that's reading number 6 from A Walk in the Wood, Meditations on Mindfulness with the Bear Named Pooh.